You got spare game codes or any digital goods? There is a place you can sell them in less than 1 minute. Watch. Go to g2a.com. Click Start Selling. Fast login. Go to My Account and click on Selling tab. Sell new item. Enter name, code, set a price. And done. G2A.com Digital Marketplace. Global selling simplified.
Now, welcome back, guys, to Starladder League here, Group D. We just saw Firebat demolish Ties, and he is going to be facing RENMEN now in the upper bracket. But first, we have Forsen against Ties. Now, looking at these decks, it's quite interesting. We have Rogue, Warlock, and Warrior for Ties, and Forsen has a very aggressive lineup. So, for Forsen, I guess his idea is to counter Druid well, counter Control. But it seems like the way Ties is bringing a lot of control decks, this might be a bit of an uphill struggle here.
Yeah, it's a lineup we probably don't see face each other that often, especially with Shaman in the mix there. Ties is taking a very kind of very traditional lineup of Patron. Did we see his Warlock in the end? Was that mid?
We haven't seen the Warlock, no. And we have seen all three decks from Forsen. So Forsen is playing Flamemaker, Mech Shaman, and mid Warlock, whereas Ties is playing Patron and Rogue. So I think maybe the Warlock would be the big surprise here. I could kind of see Forsen be in a lot of trouble, as I mean, the Rogue generally does quite well against these types of decks. The Shaman dominates the Rogue, but other than that, I mean, Rogue is about what you want to beat Flamemaker with, to beat mid Warlock with. But I mean, Firebat did beat Ties with his mid Warlock, so it comes maybe down to the draw and the luck a bit in that case. So be interesting to see how this match pans out.
Yeah, it's the Warlock that is the big question mark here. How much do you think the lineup's changed based on what this Warlock is? Would you say mid Warlock would put it more in Taish's favor, or would Handlock put it more in Taish's, for example? What do you think?
I think mid Warlock would probably be better for Ties, as I mean, whereas Handlock is excellent against Rogue and Warrior. Forsen is bringing a lot of aggro, and I can imagine, you know, if you're playing Handlock, it's not ideal against Mech Shaman, but mid Shaman is a lot better against Handlock than the Mech Shaman, as you do have the Earthshock, but we don't have the Hex in the Mech Shaman.
But we actually have Firebat and RENMEN here. We thought it was Ties and Forsen, so I apologise for that. And it looks like RENMEN's leading with his Freeze Mage here, and we have the Oil Rogue. And we just seen this exact matchup last game with Firebat being on the Freeze Mage instead. And Firebat was able to take the game with some very good board control and playing a very aggressive Antonidas and just stacking up damage to the fireballs. It'd be interesting to see what Firebat does differently, or how he approaches this matchup and compared to Taj.
Now, an important thing to mention though is that in this case the Freeze Mage has the coin, so that may play a big role in this matchup. But again, we see excellent hand for the Rogue. You want to have that 3-drop, 4-drop into Lothep. He has the key Tinker's Oil as well, so if he doesn't do something like a Prep, Eviscerate, he might be looking to take a quick win here. If we look at RENMEN's hand, what you want, a kind of the Blizzard and the Flame Strike early on into some more draw, but I mean, at this point, Antonidas is kind of dead, Alexstrasza is kind of dead, you know, the second, I mean, Iceberg is fine, but you'd rather have it from a Mad Scientist, so I kind of have to give Firebat the edge here.
Yeah, Firebat has an excellent way to respond to this Doomsayer with a Sap. Unfortunately, he doesn't really have much of a follow-up play after that. It does leave his mana a bit clunky, but being able to reduce the efficiency of this Sap was a big part. And he didn't actually hit with his weapon here, so he's going to be planning to build a much bigger weapon with Tinkers eventually.
Yeah, but imagine, I guess, if Firebat had the coin there, it would be a lot different. The you know, the Doomsayer would be coming down a turn later. Could have got the Lothep off there. If RENMEN didn't have the coin, you know, as we saw before with the from Ty's perspective, he didn't he didn't actually need to, I guess, waste the whole turn on the sap. He could go or sap and something else, or Thalnos and Eviscerate like we saw in that case. But now Lothar coming down, all the pressure here from Firebat, maybe possibly even 15 damage to face next turn. He's currently looking to be at either 20 or 17. I've gotta give Firebat the edge here.
Yeah, Firebat has had a really good low feb turn here, been able to protect his board from any real clear blizzard. Might likely come down now, even though RENMEN doesn't have it. It's just he'll be able to take out one of these minions, depending on what he wants to do, be it Van Cleef or be it the Farseer, depends if he wants to ping. But Firebat still has like 2 minions sitting there, and he has that weapon, which he can build up next turn with the Tinkers, especially if he draws a card which lets him combo into it.
Yeah, I mean, in this scenario, how is RENMEN going to clear this? He has no big AoE, so I don't see a scenario where he's going to be taking this. I mean, is it possible even just to go for Tinkers and Flurry for lethal? Yeah, that looks to be just lethal there, yeah, on turn 7. Nonetheless, so a quick 1-0 from Firebat incoming here.
Wow, Firebat's still on this kind of steamrolling style, just ran right over this Freeze Mage. Oh, the ice block comes. We didn't see the secret from the scientist previous, but still, it's still looking very good for Firebat. I mean, he gets RENMEN here gets to ice block, ice barrier if he needs to. I guess he really wants to wait out until he can Alex himself. But yeah, apologies, I didn't see the secret then. It's my bad.
It has to be panic mode here, yeah. I mean, you can't see it on the top side, but ice block coming down the second secret. I think there's no chance the Firebat will attack into this. He'll just go for the Eviscerate, popping the ice block. Even get the Blade Fury for a possible scenario here. I mean, let's look at the scenario. If he doesn't kill the Azure Drake, there's a possibility of a second Azure Drake, weapon, prep Flurry for 3 damage for the lethal there.
It's almost
What
too
can
perfect.
do? Yeah, I mean,
It's almost too perfect. He does have ways to deal with this Drake. It just all very much depends if he takes the initiative on taking it out. And he's hovering over that Antonidas there, so he's not going to be taking away this minion.
we again see greedy play here from RENMEN with this Freeze Mage, but in this case he's going to get punished, sadly. So, I mean, the lethal is there on board for Firebat, even without the Eviscerate.
And Eviscerate, drawing the Eviscerate just makes it all too easy. I mean, he had a perfect setup there with the double Drake. I think he's just going to go for the Blade Flurry anyway. Kind of show him what he did wrong there, almost. So, yeah, Firebat does take this very quickly. Turn 9 for Firebat, he managed to take out this Freeze Mage. RENMEN not really getting an opportunity to set up anything. Not getting any kind of good clears with the Flame Strikes or Blizzards. And Firebat getting that excellent low feb turn.
So yeah, generally a matchup that isn't really favored for the Rogue, but RENMEN getting a bad hand and Firebat getting the optimal hand here. So 1-0 is the scenario that we're going to be looking at. Mage and Warlock left for Firebat, all 3 left here for RENMEN. I mean, in general, Druid is supposed to be good against the Mage, but the Warlock is looking good against the Druid. So I feel like if Firebat can get a win with Freeze, which is pretty likely, he should be looking to take this one. Getting a win with that Freeze Mage is very important, though, as I mean, getting a win with that Rogue, sorry, because the Rogue is decent against the mid-lock, but on a bad draw, you do tend to lose that. You maybe even against the Druid and aren't favored against the Freeze Mage, so not the best deck of Firebat to win with here again. One.
Tell you what I would like to see here is a Freeze Mage mirror. That's a matchup we don't see very often at the moment, and it very much shows the true potential of the player and his knowledge by playing that mirror, because a lot of intricacies in it that will tip the game in your favor. And then,
yes, yeah, Mad Scientist, Blizzard, Acolyte of Pain, Flame Strike, you know, with no regard for anything. It's just denying one draw may be worth a whole Flame Strike. But we do see Druid against Freeze Mage. Generally a bad matchup for the Freeze Mage, but a nice hand for Firebat at least. And RENMEN doesn't have the coin, which is another key thing. mostly used to deny, I guess, Firebat having the initiative, because if Firebat could go for a turn earlier Emperor or a turn earlier board clear or possibly even a turn earlier Alexstrasza, that could make all the difference. But Innovate in the hand, I mean, the Wrath is about not good. There's no wild growth. So if Firebat was to beat Druid with Feast Mage, I think this would be the scenario he would be doing that with.
And Firebat has an excellent hand, I think. Firstly, he's got a 2-drop Mad Scientist, put that early pressure, thin his deck from the secrets so he doesn't draw into them, but he also got the Forest, which is fantastic for this deck. And Doomsayer Frostnova, so he's got the perfect clear as well. I mean, Keeper, very vulnerable to Keeper, but he just has such a good range of options in his opening hand so far.
I mean, the idea with, getting that Doomsayer out early is, okay, you don't get value out of the Doomsayer, but you do get value in the case of denying the silence, as in the late game, there's often a scenario where you have a big minion like Ancient of Lore, or possibly even a Dr. Boom or something, and you could silence a frozen minion like that and get a lot of burst. So even, denying the silence or on possibly even Accelerator Pain may be well worth it.
Firebat keeps drawing excellent cards here. He draws straight into his curve here, getting the Acolyte of Pain, but he also has another Scientist. So if he manages to get the 2 Death Rattles to go off before he draws his secret, it just thins his deck so much, which is what he wants here. He doesn't want to be drawn into these secrets now with Emperor coming up in a few turns. He wants to start drawing into stuff where Emperor gets more value. Whereas RENMEN here, he's got the opportunity here to innovate his Ancient of Lore and draw some cards. And
I can't say I like this. I would have preferred him to go for a Wrath here on the Accolade of Pain, possibly with an Innovate Sweater. As I mean, Lore is easy to remove. You want it in the late game for healing. Probably not going to come to that in this case, as Swipe isn't that good really. But he gets Azure Drake and Belcher, both minions that are mediocre at best against Feast Mage.
Yeah, he doesn't really achieve too much with that play. I mean, the Wrath denies Firebat just pinging his Acolyte here, getting an extra card, powering up that Forest, coming up in a few turns. And the Shredder alone contests both these minions as well, so the 5/5 itself doesn't make a huge difference. And if you look at Firebat's play here, he's just got another Scientist, so he's got both Scientists down now, which can fin his deck, and he fins his deck even more by drawing more from his Acolyte, so he just a weak initiative from RENMEN then.
Yeah, I mean, Firebat isn't afraid of this Ancient of Lore at all. He just pretty much ignores it. It's only 5 damage, so with this coming down, it looks to be a Wrath now. It's so much weaker now, though. I mean, Wrathing a 2 health Acolyte is just not as strong. I don't really know about this. This is starting to look better and better for Firebat every time it goes on. Also, I guess Firebat hasn't been drawing the secrets, so he's gonna get a lot of value out of these Mad Scientists.
Yeah, it's just a shaky play to be wrathing an Acolyte of Pain that's already drawn a card for you. It's just so weak in compared to last turn, like you said, where he would have only drawn 1 card. You managed to get 2 cards out of that Acolyte of Pain, and he got rid of a Wrath as well, kind of an inefficient Wrath. So it's looking really good for Firebat. And here he can Frost Nova Doomsayer, put more pressure on so he can't play anything next turn, and then the Forest comes down on turn 6, and he has to have a way to deal with it straight away.
But a Keeper coming down, that's definitely nice to have right now, but if he's running out of silences, might be in trouble later in the game. I think the big game also needs to come down just for that added pressure, as Firebat hasn't been giving a lot of indication that he has big AoE.
And the thing is as well, by the time Alex comes down with the situation this game's in now, Big Game Hunter probably won't make that much difference. So if he played this Big Game Hunter now, he keeps on the pressure of the board. He's just silenced the Doomsayer as well, so Firebat's got to find another way to deal with these minions, or he might not feel that dropping Farson is as valuable because it's just such an easy way to clear it. Oh wow.
No, Flamestruck is the card he needed. It doesn't kill the Ancient of Lore, so I think Blizzard, then Flamestruck is a stronger option. But I mean, even though he has the Emperor, it doesn't have the Alexstrasza, so if Alexstrasza is hiding at the bottom of the deck, this may spell some trouble here for Firebat. But looking at Coin, okay, Coin, Flamestrike. I mean, it's not all bad, as The idea is, okay, you know, the Ancient Dollar gets to attack, but it also procs my Ice Barrier, so it's even gonna net me three health here in total.
And again, like you said, the Ancient of Law from earlier, it still is not a threat at all to Firebat. You can just ping it next turn and it's gone, and it didn't really achieve that much apart from giving Firebat an extra 8 health, and it didn't really draw anything that substantial for RENMEN. It did finish deck enough to get the Keeper of the Grove in the end, but yeah, it's just still looking like Firebat's ahead. It's just when that Alexstrasza pops up, he needs it to come as soon as possible now.
I mean, there's just no board presence here for RENMEN. It's just low health minions that deal low amount of damage here. There's no combo in hand, really. You know, the Wild Growth is useless from now on, so just a simple Blizzard here seems to be the way to go. Possibly even just ping the Ancient of Lore.
Yeah, draw ping, drop the loot hoarder. That's viable.
Cold is interesting. You don't see that in every Freeze Mage deck.
Yeah, the freeze mage list is quite tight in general. Fitting stuff in these days, kind of tech cards like that, is quite hard because Forresting's kind of filled up any kind of tech slots you had. Because the list hasn't really changed that much, apart from maybe more loot hoarders now than it had in the past. I'm not sure what he would have dropped for that, because he seems to have 2 loot hoarders as well.
I guess possibly this second Flame Strike could have been thrown away. That's possible. Usually the card that gets thrown out. But now Doomsayer, that might work okay with Blizzard. That'd be excellent, yeah. There's nothing in RENMEN's hand to deal with that. And by that point, if he's going to be doing nothing on the next turn and then dropping a Belcher, it's just not going to be enough pressure.
Yeah, Belcher's far too slow for RENMEN right now. This is looking excellent for Firebat. So he's got the extra Ancient of Law here. It's not really worth digging for anything. I mean, Wild Growth is probably the best thing you can do here. Maybe dig that for that second Keeper, or a Wrath.
Just a swipe or something. Because if he loses this board, he's going to be too far behind. But at this point, it might actually matter how much armor RENMEN ends up accumulating. As we do see that while Firebat has burst, he doesn't have other burst. And he top decks that Keeper, wow. Always lucky, I guess, for RENMEN.
So he's had both Keepers in about 11 turns. Very fortunate for RENMEN, and especially against Freeze Mage, and having them at the exact right time as well, because I'm pretty sure he top decked the Keeper last time the Doomsayer came down. It's an excellent draw for him there.
Firebat can shut down most of this though. I mean, Cone of Cold, Hero Power, possibly even Arcane Interact or even an Acolyte.
He still has a Frostbolt as well, if he feels he needs to use it. I mean, losing a Frostbolt wouldn't be a huge deal. But it's kind of cold. It's going to be very much depending on what this Shredder drops, so...
I mean, without...
Getting a Millhouse would be devastating.
Yeah, I mean, but without any, I guess, any Alexstrasza, doesn't get an Alexstrasza in, let's say, the next 3 turns, then Firebat is just in a lot of trouble. He is figuring, okay, RENMEN is likely to have combo anyway, so I'll just play as greedy as possible. I think that maybe this is not what he's going for right now.
No, this is typical Firebat play though. He sees an opportunity to play more aggressively and he takes it because he, like I said, he figures if he's gonna pop the block, he's gonna pop the block. And Conical is a bit too inefficient to deal with this board right now. So he goes for that Forresting play, reducing 2 fireballs, a Pyro and Frostbolt Iceland stands a lot of damage. So even if he doesn't draw this Alex in the next turn or two, he has the opportunity to replay super aggressive with these spells. And this is why I like Firebat as a player. He's just making these kind of plays.
I think Firebat may be putting RENMEN on a stronger hand than he actually has in this case, as there's no combo. Double swipe is decent, but it'd be very important that he gets Firebat down to 1 health here, so he can just use the hero power. But there's a lot of burst coming down from Firebat though.
Firebat still has the opportunity to draw into, say, another Frostbolt, another Ice Lance, Alex, although would Alex would be a little too slow now. It's not something you probably want to see. He's kind of taking the game path where Alex is not as necessary anymore. It's more necessary to draw spells to do damage. So,
I mean, he has over 30 damage here in 2 turns that he can burst. So going for phase may just be what he needs to do. I think I like this pyro busting phase here.
Does the Ancient of Law change? I guess the Ancient of Law definitely changes stuff here, though. If he goes to the heal.
He'll have to go for the heal, yeah, but I mean, there's no way he's denying the Ice Block being popped. My idea would be to Pyro Blast now so he can draw into another Ice Lance later on. Or still another Frostbolt. Because this is only, what, 7 damage with the burst? Maybe he's looking to drop the Acolyte to get more draw for next turn, but I mean, overall it's cutting it a bit close. The idea for going for the Pyro Blast first is if he needs another turn, he could possibly go for the combo plus Ice Block next turn, whereas he can't do that with the Pyro Blast in hand. But if he, let's say, had both Fireballs and the Frostbolt Ice Lance, he could do that with Ice Block. But the power of Emperor here is just staggering.
Yeah, I agree with that, because now he's going to heal, and he's not going to be able to play Pyro Blast, he's going to have to play Ice Block. So it makes it a bit awkward, so he's very much relying on drawing another Frostbolt, I guess. And
yeah,
the thing with the last play... Sorry, you carry on, Cody, sorry.
There's the possibility also of drawing Thalanos, which would dramatically better this hand overall, but second Frostbolt is drawn. Yeah, this would be actually lethal if he had gone for Pyro Blast last turn, I believe. No, it would be 1 man off, but he could also play the Ice Block. So let's see. Still, he'll need to go Frostbolt phase now, right? Ice Block, Frostbolt phase, Pink phase, Acolyte. But still, I mean, Firebat and RENMEN can just hero power up. I think it's tough to call, but I think Firebat may have played himself out of this match.
Another thing with throwing all those spells at RENMEN last turn instead of the Pyroblast is it creates much more of a sense of urgency for RENMEN, because it puts more fear into him. Whereas just playing the one Pyro is not as threatening, I don't think, and it might have, and it gave you more flexibility, like you said, this turn, to play the Ice Block if you need to, or... Oh wait, there's an Ice Lance. Oh, he drew the Ice Lance!
Oh wow, that just blows this game wide open here. That is actually gonna, completely change this game with that top deck Ice Lance. But yeah, I think to note, I mean, at this point, if you're this far ahead as a Druid, you know, with 6 minions on the board, you're gonna heal no matter what. You're gonna play as defensively as possible. So even if you went for the Pyroblast, RENMEN should still be panicking and playing defensively. But I mean, this is not gonna be enough. Yeah.
What an incredible top deck for Firebat there. We were talking about the end.
Like here, RENMEN should absolutely not play a minion because of the possibility of getting something that could heal him next turn. So if Firebat just went for a freeze Frost Nova, obviously the board will be full, but the Pyroblast is gonna seal the game here. So Firebat going up 2-0.
That was incredibly clutch from Firebat there. It was almost out of reach for him. It was almost a loss, but picking that Acolyte and getting that Ice Lance, wow, to say you can ask for a better card. I think that was the only card that actually saved him out of everything he had.
Looks to be the case, yeah. I mean, now there's only the Warlock left for Firebat, and RENMEN has the Druid. So, I mean, Firebat is an expert at Zoo, so if he faces, you know, the Zoo Mirror, I would give Firebat the edge. If he's facing the Druid, I would give Firebat the edge. Freeze Mage should be quite good. It depends on the eggs drawn and the void colors there. But we see now mid Warlock versus Druid about the best matchup for Warlock, it seems.
Yeah, it seems like RENMEN is just trying to get this Druid game out of the way. If he wins it, he can go forward from here. If he loses it, you know, it's not such a terrible thing to lose to the world champ. So He'd like to. I think he'd like to. He needs to win with this druid to get the momentum back in his favor, because we don't know we don't know RENMEN enough to know what his kind of psychology is when playing this game. There's a lot of different players out there that react very differently to losing and being far behind. So and that kind of influences their choices on deck sometimes. But RENMEN's, because he's so new to us, it's very hard for us to call that. But at the moment,
scenario though, yeah, for RENMEN here, getting the wild growth, the silence, and the Sylvanas. You really don't want the Sylvanas even a second. In the second silence here, it's the key card. You can both silence the eggs, and more importantly, the Void Terror that gets buffed.
Oh wow, Power of Overwhelming there. Still going to make this egg quite threatening because it gives such a massive Void Terror. Luckily for RENMEN, he does have the silence available to him if he wants to use it on the 7/7. So unless he draws a big game hunter, he's probably going to be doing that. Unless he's just no fear and just slams Sylvanas.
I like this play though. I mean, if he silences, he's just behind on board still, and if he could possibly steal this, he would be insane.
So he's emptied his hand of demons here, so this Void Caller should be dropping a Mal'Ganis. This taunt would prove a bit troublesome if there wasn't a Wrath about. It's going to be interesting to see what line of play RENMEN takes here, because he has the option to silence the Void Caller if he wants, but you might want to pop that first and get the Mal'Ganis out to make his Sylvanas a bit more efficient.
I like the idea, I guess, of wrathing the Voidwalker, attacking in, and then having the option to keeper the Sylvanas with your own keeper, and you get a 67% chance to get something decent out of that. I don't like silencing. I think it's going to be attacking in first and then going for the keeper, but he's looks to be silencing the Void Terror. Okay, this is okay as well. I mean, now the thing is, he gives Firebat options to, I guess, proc the income and play. Okay, it does end up trading in here with the Sylvanas, so steals the Void Caller here. Defender of Arcus not the best. I mean, these draws from Firebat are just not working out.
But as more minions come down, the Sea Giant's going to be able to make play, and as time goes on, he's going to have a Mal'Ganis as an option later. He just needs to draw, they're not the best, but I think he can still work with at least a Sea Giant, and it's very much going to depend on what he draws next.
I mean, this went from being an excellent position for Firebat to just be borderline unplayable. I mean, there is the Sea Giant, but there's so many chances to draw into something. You can even just go for Belcher and ignore it.
I guess he wants to. He'd rather just swarm the board here than play the Sea Giant. Oh, he gets to play the Sea Giant anyway, right? So he gets to play the
just
tap.
do both. Yeah, there's so many cards that can get you back into the game as Midlock, though. You know, you have the Power Longing, the Void Terrors, the Void Callers as well. You know, Doom Guards even. So Sea Giant is gonna help out a lot. I mean, there's no PGH, then Firebat is right back into this game.
I mean, he's built a pretty steady board up from what he had. He managed to drop most of the stuff, which is not too bad, and he used all his mana, so it did look a pretty bad hand. But I think Firebat's turned this around to make most of what he had.
We have a swipe. We can technically clear most of this. Belcher seems to be. Plan seems to just be to keep on drawing, using maybe the Wild Growth and into Thorus, and he gets at least 2 chances to draw BGH, but it would be useful with the Mal'Ganis coming up. Now, Firebat has to tap.
Ah, that's a bit too slow for him right now. Not the most efficient thing to draw.
I'm a bit surprised by positioning. I mean, this would leave him more open to swipe, but maybe he figures that there's already been one swipe to use, so he can just play aggressive and ignore the second swipe.
Yeah, I guess he just wants the Void Terror down to make use of the Mal'Ganis, but it's such an easy trade here for RENMEN with this Ancient of Law. He's got two options. I guess he could take out the giant, or he could take out the void terror.
I think the giant has to be dying here. I would have slightly preferred the Wildcross Emperor, but this is not too bad either. Shade coming down looks to be still a good position for RENMEN. I have to give him the answer in this game. Arcus is okay, but he could possibly be needing to rely on a Doomguard top deck at some point.
Although RENMEN doesn't have an answer for this Mal'Ganis just yet. Oh, and there we go. He just draws it.
It's always how it goes, right? But you can at least start with the Wildcross. And there was always the option of, I guess, double draw the Cloud Shard. So maybe charge one in, throw the Shade in, and then taunt the second one. I actually wouldn't mind that right now.
Yeah, that seems pretty good. I mean, he might look for a big game hunter here, but you're very much relying on one draw, whereas that play seems very efficient because you set up another wall of the line of defense at least.
I mean, if he goes for the Force, he's either gonna have to take 9 damage with the hero power or throw away the Shade for nothing. I mean, it's just technically clear and he's still ahead, but I don't know.
I mean, Firebat's sitting on that. Yeah, so Firebat's sitting on an Argus. If he draws something decent for 5, or maybe a low feb if he's running it, or something decent. Oh, that's not what you want to see.
I'm talking about the worst card we get here. Abusive and Defenders are actually going to come down. It is. Firebat realizes that a Doomguard is what he's going to be needing to draw. Maybe a Dr. Boom that gets an answer, but it's unlikely.
So a Bear and a Harrison Jones. Of course, Harrison Jones have no use in this matchup. Another Implosion. Wow. He's just not having the best of draws. Haunted Creep with a follow. He's just not having the best draws here.
I mean, I think I have to give it to RENMEN though. He's been playing this one well. Got the Sylvanas. I think that was the key card, the main turnaround in this game. There's always the possibility of something happening, but through the Claw and Pal the Shredder seems to be the way to go. Maybe even he gets the taunt though, right?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, the Drake's fine. He gets to fill. Oh, there's a big game hunter. It's a bit late now because he's seen both Mal'Ganis and Sea Giant. Unless Firebat's running another Sea Giant, big game hunter just come way too late.
I've been looking at Firebat mid Warlocks, and there's never a second one, but it would be pretty handy to have it right here. We do see the BGH though, but both of the I guess there might be a Dr. Boom though left, so.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I forgot about Dr. Boom. I'd be very surprised if he didn't run Dr. Boom. So there's still a target for this BGH, I suppose. It's crazy how many BGH targets mid Warlock has, considering its origin was Zoo, which had none at its birth, and now it's got 3 BGH targets.
I think after GVG people started adding the Sea Giant, but now it's going even further. So Stripe coming down, about the best way to get here. Emperor following that up with, I mean, still, Firebat has 6 damage on the board. Only 13 life left, so there are possibilities. Voidwalker isn't gonna do it though. Knife Juggler, also not what he's looking for.
With that overwhelming followed by Doomguard, eh?
Yeah. So he's gonna be trading in. I mean, unless RENMEN just draws in late or something at this point, I don't see him losing. Scenarios is ideal. Gets taunts going, keeps the Astral Drake alive there. And what can Firebat do from here?
I think the scenario is just. Oh, this is Doomguard. Okay, so he hasn't. He still has tap, so a 3 mana minion would be pretty decent.
I don't even know what mini can help him out here.
Oh, Flame Imp. That's not good.
Needs to hit a 2/2 though, so he can clear and not die, but does hit that okay, so there's some resemblance of hope left for Firebat.
Well, no, we can't clear the scenarios, right?
Yeah, but because of the tap it goes even further, so RENMEN taking game number 3 here.
It was
And
actually the Flame Imp that
yeah.
killed him. Yeah, it was a Flame Imp that killed him there. If he'd drawn any other minion, he would have been fine.
Yeah, but looking at the scenario though, Druid is the most important, I think, for RENMEN to win with, as Firebat can absolutely lose to Freeze Mates, and the mirror can go either way. I think, Firebat is so strong with Sue. I'd want to see the matchup. It looks like we're going to see a mid-range Warlock against Freeze Mate here in game before.
So this is the good. This would be RENMEN's good match. So he played his worst and he won. So he's playing his best now. So if he wins this, he's relying on the mirror, which, like you said, you feel Firebat is more in favor there because of his experience with the deck and his experience with the mirror in general. So
I think, yeah, in general, it's just there's more decisions in the mirror. There's a harder matchup. There's a smaller, I guess, window of error. You can't make a single mistake there. You just generally end up losing. But so I'd probably like to have that matchup maybe in game 4 instead of game 5 where everything is on the line. But so RENMEN is going to go though for a match time to turn 1. This is decent. There's a lot on the draw from Firebat, but I mean, Abusive Sergeant and Power are not going to be what he's going to be looking for here.
That's really unfortunate for Firebat that he has to tap on turn 2 and not play a minion.
I mean, if you go from there also, Void Terror on turn 3 is not what you want to be dropping. Gang Boss significantly better.
Yeah, that's a great top deck for him. He had some really inefficient options up until then. So RENMEN looking pretty comfortable here, just drawing some more cards. He's got a Blizzard, he's got a Frossover Doomsayer as well. So Firebat will probably want to be finding an Owl as soon as possible, just to be able to deal at least with one of these Doomsayers.
There's even options here for, I guess, power whelming your own Void Caller and then dropping the Void Terror. If you get a Doom Guard, that can just be so much damage to face, and you don't even need to be trading. Damage to face is enough in that case, but only one demon in hand though from RENMEN here, from Firebat here. Yeah.
So RENMEN's gained 6 health from that Zambari, and he just played another barrier, so there's another 8 health there from that. It's looking pretty good here, but yeah, it's still looking pretty good for I think it's looking pretty good for RENMEN right now. He's got a lot of health, he's got board clear coming up, and Firebat's hand is just a bit lackluster. He needs that good demon to get from the Void Caller. Alright, so an Owl would be brilliant. Oh, Mal'Ganis, that's not too bad.
I think the note though is, Firebat has a Sylvanas in hand, and if he would end up dropping that Sylvanas at some point, the option of Doomguard, Doomsayer plus Fireball is always there. Fireballing your opponent's Sylvanas and giving him free Doomsayer, wiping the board, but he does end up just going for the Frost Nova and gets the full clear. Mal'Ganis comes down though, so we're looking like we're going to have to see a Fireball ping on that.
Yeah, it forces him to use up the Fireball here, but I don't think that's a huge deal for RENMEN right now. But his hand is, he's got 2 Ice Blocks in hand. Pyro Ice Lance, that's not great. Blizzard's very good, but he needs to start drawing some cards from his Acolyte, I think.
Yeah, I think this may just be the turn you have to ping your Acolyte. I mean, you're only taking 7 damage, you're at 30, so feel pretty comfortable with that.
He's not in any threat of losing right now. And drawing as many, he just needs to keep drawing and let Firebat build a bit more of a board here before he starts committing any more clears. Oh, Sea Giants. Oh, I like this. Power Overwhelming, do some damage, and steal his card draw and get a massive Void Terror out of it.
That's a BlizzCon champion quality of play. I think it's mostly for denying the draw, but I mean, he will get at least 1 card out of this as well. If there's not going to be a Doomsayer coming down. 12-12 Void Terror. What can you do against a 12-12 Void Terror?
Hope. He's got ways to keep it at bay for a while, but it's not going anywhere yet. He might have to commit a Frostbolt Ice Lance to it at some point. We might have to hope for a Fireball, but then you're just throwing that important damage away on minions. And he just drew a Dr. Boom as well, so Firebat's starting to just throw an onslaught of powerhouse minions at RENMEN now. And he's going to really struggle to deal with it.
Also, I guess the boombot here threatening a possible lethal. I mean, if you want to be killing them off while you still have a lot of health, as you know, Ice Block can't proc on your own turn, but it seems like RENMEN might even just be going aggressive here. Wouldn't mind that. I mean, Ice Block plus Fireball plus Frostbolt putting him at 10 health. What can he do against that?
Oh yeah, that would be an excellent play. Oh yeah, that's true. I would like that. But now this gives Firebat an opportunity to just keep playing the game.
The Doomguard is important. I think the Sea Giant won't matter at this point. So Defender of Argus and the Doomguard coming down. I think this is still not going to be enough. As I mean, he has all the damage you could ever hope for. So it's looking like RENMEN is going to be taking game number 4 here, tying things up, and putting the game number 5. Assume mirror.
Unless Firebat taps into anti-heal bars, which is very unlikely. But yeah, I mean, RENMEN had a play, like you said before, which he could have sat default, but it didn't really matter in the end. It's very hard for Zoo to kind of punch through back-to-back ice blocks and win the game, especially when he has all this damage in hand.
Certainly going to be the case here, so a lot of tension in a game 5 mid Warlock mirror here. Looking forward to see this. I mean, I think it's probably one of the matchups with the highest amount of skill. I mean, every small decision can make a huge difference. The coin is critical. You have so many different lines of play in many positions in terms of, you know, getting Defender of Argus out, in terms of getting the Void Callers out. There's no BGHs, there can be no silences, so I'm looking forward to this one. Sea Giant, a definite keep, I'd say.
Sea Giant, Knife Juggler, there's 2 strong keeps there. I'm assuming the bottom hand is Firebat, right? It's going to be very hard to tell whose hand is who's for a moment until the mulligans go through.
He keeps Juggler, I think. There's some merit to keeping the Void Caller, but I'm not sure I like that. Did he actually keep the Doomguard as well?
Yes, he did.
Huh.
So RENMEN is the Flame Imp player. So RENMEN has a good early curve so far. He has the Knife Juggler follow-up. The Void Turret's not too great, but it's a lot better than Firebat's, which is tapping.
Things happening quickly here. I like the position of the player with the coin and the Flame Imp. I mean, the tempo is just, it's endless value here. We see a Void Turret coming down, but it's not going to be enough. We have the option of here, I mean, Defender of Arcus even, but since he has that stacked curve with both Dr. Boom and Mal'Ganis as a possibility, I think saving the coin is going to be crucial. You also have the Defender of Arcus on the egg, which is a very nice play.
He also has the option of Void Turret the egg if he wants to just get that 3/5 and the 4/4. So, and since this Knife Juggler has been implosioned, he might go for that. Oh, he just goes for the. I guess the egg. With the Argus, you force the imps to kind of punch through this egg.
I guess with this hand, it looks to be a good play to go for the Argus, but now looking at the possibility, is it going to be better value of an Owl? Maybe you want to save that for a Void Turret, but I mean, looking at Coin's Livanas, I wouldn't mind that, as you know, now the Void Caller was played first, so if all minions die, Livanas will end up stealing the minion that comes out of the Void Caller there, which in this case would be Mal'Ganis or Doomguard, so that might be a lot of value.
Yeah, and it creates it's quite a threat for RENMEN then as well, because he doesn't want something like Mal'Ganis or Doomguard being stolen. It's just too much of a high value card to get rid of. But he does have the silence to easily respond to this Sylvanas and drop the Mal'Ganis as well.
Overall, I mean, the Owl was there and then Mal'Ganis does come out. Now what response is there for this Mal'Ganis? He may need to just trade into it and then let that be the end of it. But he does need the juggle to go his way, or he's going to be wasting a whole Doom card or taking a lot of damage to face. Does tap, gets the Void Walker, that's not too bad. I mean, if he ends up killing an owl or something and he gets the hit on the Mal'Ganis, clearing that.
That was good for him. Very good for Firebat there. There would have been a bit of a nuisance if that Mal'Ganis had stuck around.
He's gonna have to throw out the Doom card. Why not tap first, is my idea. Makes it more likely to keep the second Doom card, as you want to keep the Doom card instead of the possibility of power overwhelming. Yeah, I think that why the Doom card of both the power overwhelming and the abusive sergeant, so not liking this line of play.
Yeah, he seems to value the egg coming out now more so than an extra Doom Guard, because the problem here for RENMEN is a lot of his power cards are gone now. Probably Dr. Boom, maybe a Sylvanas if he's running it, are the ones he's got left. Whereas Firebat has a lot of power cards coming out now. Sea Giant, Mal'Ganis, a Doom Guard.
Yeah, I think, you know, RENMEN will have to go only for face at this point. I don't see any other scenario working out for him.
Yeah, he's committed to a very aggressive play. He unfortunately gets a very good implosion here, being able to clean up this Dr. Boom very easily, and he's far ahead now. I don't know if Firebat can win this now.
Now this Defender of Arcus is going to be everything. Sea Giant plus Defender of Arcus, plus possibly a Void Terror. I mean, does it get better? Let's think about the idea, I guess, of yeah, Sea Giant, then you Void Terror the bombs.
And he taunt them both up.
Can't get them both off, yeah. Taunting of the Sea Giant, okay, he probably kills a few imps with the bombs. But think about an owl top deck here.
Well, he's already committed one owl. He may not be running two.
A horrible.
I mean, that Argus was such a good
one,
draw.
I guess.
Alright, so he can still clear this giant with the Doom Guard and the Nerubian. And maybe still leave 2 imps on the board. I don't think it's too bad for him, actually. Because this bot might actually spawn more minions for him. But the big question, I guess, is can RENMEN deal with a Mal'Ganis if it comes down?
I think it's going to come down to RENMEN's next top deck. Mal'Ganis does come down. The trade there into the 1/1 is looking likely. I mean, you're going to have a 7 attack Doom card coming out on the next turn if Mal'Ganis doesn't die.
Oh yeah, that's
We
true.
can't even go for face. I mean, he figures, okay, if a power overwhelming comes down, Mal'Ganis is going to die anyway. There's going to be, yeah. A dive of alpha is actually just about what he needs. That's 7 damage. Killing the Mal'Ganis, giving him 2 imps, a Void Walker, and a dive of alpha. Is there something that Firebat can do against that? I mean, the Void Walker is the key card here, I think, as it shuts down the Doom Guard. But save for another Defender of Arcus, which I'm not even sure is in the deck at this point. It's looking very bleak for Firebat.
Yeah, this Void Walker changes quite a lot.
You can, I guess, charge the Doom Guard, killing the Direwolf, but at that point, any top deck for burst from RENMEN is to end the game.
Although he's got a pretty cool board being developed here.
Oh wow, what a play there! I mean, he Void Terrors the Void Caller, gets a free Doom Guard out, pops the egg. Next level play from Firebat here, well done.
And he leaves him with 2 imps.
Horrible this got wasted for the top deck here from RENMEN, but well played to Firebat. Defender of Arcus is close, but not quite there.
He needs something here to respond to this, but like I said, we've said all his big threats are gone apart from Dr. Boom, but now he can't play Sylvanas and Defender, and he's going to have to play Defender to live here.
But he won't survive.
But he won't.
Anyway, yeah.
We were counting Firebat out of this game, and all of a sudden, a massive play from Firebat just swings the board in his favor so heavily that RENMEN can't deal with it.
He played this so well overall. You know, a very I definitely deserved that win in my opinion. Taking it 3-2, so Firebat is going to be moving on to the round of 8 it looks to be, and RENMEN going through the losers match or I guess even the final match, facing the winner of Tyson Forsen.
Yeah, but well played to RENMEN. He took 2 games off the reigning world champion. And for an up and coming player, that's always something to be proud of. But he still has an opportunity to go through in the his next game. He will play the winner of Taj and Forsen. He's already beaten Forsen 3-0. So if Forsen manages to win this next game, he's going to want to run back. He's going to want to be able to kind of regain his pride, I imagine. So the next game is going to ultimately decide a very interesting losers final. I think Forsen RENMEN rematch would be excellent.
I mean, he has a lot of options in that match. I think Forsen can definitely take that in the second go. It was a close series before, even though it was a 3-0. I mean, we had a lot of bad RNG from Forsen and some slight hiccups there, so I could definitely see Forsen still qualifying through. It'd be interesting to see now Forsen match up against Thais. Rogue, Warlock, Warrior against Mage, Shaman, and Warlock. Combo-oriented decks from Thais, and very aggressive decks from Forsen. I mean, in terms of the combo decks, they do sometimes just fall to aggro, and I think that might very well happen now. So we'll see you guys soon after this short break, and with Thais versus Forsen.
You got spare game codes or any digital goods? There is a place you can sell them in less than 1 minute. Watch. Go to G2A.com. Click Start Selling. Fast login. Go to My Account and click on Selling tab. Sell new item. Enter name, code, set a price. And done. G2A.com Digital Marketplace. Global selling simplified.